Hello, everyone. Here's your weather hazard briefing for Monday, October 24th. We do have a very brief break this morning. More rain and snow this afternoon into tonight, and another round tomorrow going into Wednesday and Wednesday night across central and eastern Idaho. It looks like the big winners for this next storm will be the Sawtooths and the eastern highlands, especially the big holes into the Tetons. There will be some wind around, so some blowing snow is possible in the higher elevations. That next round, Wednesday night, it looks like the Sawtooths and once again the eastern highlands and even some portions of the southeast highlands will be the big winners with that one. This one may see a little better chance of snow for the Snake Plain going into when that storm crosses the region going into mainly that Wednesday morning time frame, maybe a little bit into Wednesday night if anything's left over. But we have a break, a clean break. It looks like the end of the week does look dry, but it will remain on the cold side. You'll notice on the satellite loop we've already got moisture moving in from the north and west in the form of clouds. We do have some lower clouds across the area. The snow that was around last evening has moved on to the east of us at the moment, but like I said, not much of a break expected. Looking at the weather risk outlook, we do have a little more impact expected late this afternoon into this evening, mainly east of I-15. That'll be this evening into the overnight hours for some breezy conditions, some rain and snow showers. Also during the day, especially the early part of this period, late afternoon into this evening for the Sawtooths. For tomorrow morning, that band quickly moves out, but some lingering impacts for the higher elevations of the east and southeast highlands. And then area-wide, we're looking at some impacts for Wednesday. And then, like I said, Thursday and Friday are dry. Very, very brief period of light or more early morning snow showers over the eastern and southeastern highlands. So how will things go for today? By noon, we see the leading edge of that next wave pushing some moisture into the central mountains. Here we are by right around 6 o'clock. Most of it still in the central mountains. A little bit slow progress to the east, but you'll notice this evening it really starts to push to the south and to the east. By right around 1 to 2 a.m., a pretty good swath of mostly rain, maybe mixing with a little bit of snow across the Snake Plain, especially from Pocatello to Craters back towards through the Magic into the Treasure Valleys. Snow pretty much elsewhere across the area. We see that quickly transitioning out of the central mountains and even out of the Snake Plain by 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. By then, anything lingering should be mainly snow, even into some of the lower valleys across the southern and eastern highlands. That will be ending during the morning hours for tomorrow, and by noon to 1 p.m. we should be dry across the area. So going back to the forecast for today, not much in the way of snowfall initially over the central mountains. You'll see that wind kicking up, especially over the Snake Plain today. Some gusts in excess of 30 miles per hour. Also across the ridge tops, especially the Lost River Range along the Montana border, and also over around the Frank Church of No Return Wilderness and the western side of Lemhi County. That is for this afternoon. For this evening, you'll see the band starting to push into the eastern and southeastern highlands. You'll see most of the snowfall. The highest elevations of the Lost River Range, also into Lemhi County, looking at a couple of inches of snow. Maybe 1 to 2 in the Stanley Basin, but most of that will be 1 to 3 inches during the evening hours. The winds start to drop off a little bit. They're still going to be gusty, some gusts in excess of 30 miles per hour across portions of the Snake Plain. That also includes all of our higher elevations as this storm spreads into the region. For this afternoon, temperature-wise, Jerome, Twin, maybe a few spots over the Magic Valley down into the valleys of the South Hills and the Albia Mountains will hit the low 50s this afternoon. Otherwise, still in the 40s in the valleys, 20s and 30s up in the mountains. Now, overnight, we're already seeing that snow again moving into the South Hills, the Southeast Highlands, the Eastern Highlands. Not much in the way of Snake Plain. We saw a lot of that falling in the form of rain, or if it tries to get to snow, it will not be accumulating. We have a couple of things going there. We are expecting an overall shadowing effect over portions of the Arco Desert, basically from around Idaho Falls down through Burley. The downslope winds will help dry things out quite a bit and also keep temperatures warm enough that if it does fall, it'll be a rain or rain-snow mix. But by tomorrow morning, you'll notice generally 1 to 3 inches in the higher elevations. The big holes, we're looking at 2 to 4 inches, maybe in excess of 4 inches. and a few spots, especially over into the Tetons as well. Might be a bit of a tricky drive over Teton Pass in the morning. There are those winds continuing, but you'll notice shifting into the Snake Plain and the southern and eastern highlands still, with gusts of 30 to 35 miles an hour possible. And then for tomorrow morning, winds start dying off, some gusts 25 to 30 miles per hour continuing. Most of the snow in the morning. Tomorrow morning may be a bit of a tricky drive. Additional accumulations for the Tetons and Teton Pass, and with northwest flow kicking in, we might see a brief period of accumulating snow around 1 to 2 inches in the Teton Valley and especially the Driggs area. That is for tomorrow morning before we get to the noon hour. For tomorrow, with that band, the wind, look at the temperatures remaining at or above freezing or near freezing all across the interstate corridor up towards Rexburg. 35, Burley, Minidoka. Some areas will stay above 35 degrees overnight. Elsewhere, teens and 20s expected. And with the clouds and the moisture, a slight cool down for tomorrow. We might see a couple of spots hitting 50 degrees, but again, mainly 40s in the valleys, 20s and 30s in the mountains. And on Wednesday, just a little bit cooler with this system moving in. It'll be in the 20s and 30s in the mountains. May not get out of the low 40s over a good chunk of central and eastern Idaho. Looking at what we might see in terms of snowfall for that Wednesday system, this is looking at the potential of certain amounts, and this is just basically accumulating snow. You'll notice with some downslope and also a little bit of a dry slot working across the Treasure Valley and the Magic Valley. Once you get west of Pocatello, that potential of seeing accumulating snow, just a trace, is under 50%. A pretty good shot elsewhere. We're going to jump up to the probability of seeing an inch or more, and you'll notice that quickly dies out across the Snake Plain, maybe the upper part of the plain, 15 to 25% chance, but you still see a pretty good shot over the central mountains, the southern and eastern highlands, also into the South Hills and the Albion Mountains. Pushing to 2 inches or more, you'll notice that that continues to drop off, but by then, we're mainly looking at the Sawtooth, maybe around Mount Bora, the eastern and the southeast highlands, maybe also down around Pomerelle, Magic Mountain, still at a 50% chance or greater of seeing over 2 inches, going to 4 inches for that particular time frame. Again, this is a 24-hour total from late Tuesday night, Wednesday morning through Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. Really still only the heart of the Sawtooth, the Bear River Range, looking at the big holes into the Tetons, also the mountains adjacent to the south side of Yellowstone National Park. That potential still above 50%. And we'll skip to 8 inches or more, and the probabilities of seeing 8 inches or more really drop off about 10 to 20, 25% in the areas along the Montana border, also into the Sawtooth as well. So that's what we're looking at with that storm system. Like I said, this may be the best chance of seeing at least some more accumulating snow, not much, for the Snake Plain, if that's what you're looking for in the forecast the next few days. Temperatures for going into Thursday, the system moves out. Still looking at maybe a few spots hitting the mid-40s in the afternoon, but a chilly morning, a lot of teens and 20s in the lower elevations. Places that haven't had a really, really hard freeze should see one Thursday morning. The Stanley Basin, Copper Basin, we're looking about 5 to 15 below for lows on Thursday morning. And Friday, not much of a change, although we start to see a chilly morning, but afternoon temperatures across portions of the Snake Plain into the Magic and Treasure Valleys, low 50s expected in the afternoon. So once again, a very brief break early on today. The next round moves in this afternoon, lasts through tomorrow morning. Round 2 will be mainly Wednesday and Wednesday night. And again, the Highlands will be the big winners with this. Breezy conditions for the next storm, and we'll have some wind on Wednesday, so some blowing snow possible in the mountains with both of these systems, but we do see a break going into Thursday and Friday. Have a great Monday. Have a great start to your week, and do stay safe out there, everyone.